Hey, welcome back. This video is all about your sticky story. This is a really important one. Your sticky story is basically the story that people remember you for. It's called your sticky story because it makes them stick to you like Velcro. Your soulmate customers are just like attracted to you and stick to you. They love you because your story just resonates so much. And it's the kind of story when people say, "Oh, I know Jane. She's the business coach who does X," or "I know Laura. She is the stylist who does Y." So that's your sticky story. And your sticky story is so versatile and so powerful, and you can use it on things like your sales page, on your about page. You can use versions of it in your bio as well. So it's a really important one to work out, and it basically blends who you are with what you do, and it brings that in alignment with why you do it, basically. And I'm going to show you how to use a lot of the elements that we have probably talked about already in your founding story and your purpose story, and create your sticky story. So very often your sticky story is like the beacon of hope story. Now, for most entrepreneurs, the reason that we have started a business is that we have either been on some kind of A to B transformation story ourselves. So either we've had a problem which we have put time and energy or money into figuring out, and so therefore we've created a business to make it easier for somebody to do that, to do it faster, or we have been on a particular journey and we want to support people through that, or we had a problem and we created a solution for it, and again that's what we're selling. So very often it's quite easy to recognize the A to B journey that you've been through, and the A to B journey and how it matches the A to B journey that your ideal customer will go through when they work with you. So and that's really powerful, because when you share an A to B journey, a transformation story, you'll always hear like, oh, when you write content, you should always write it from your ideal customer's point of view. You shouldn't be using I, you, and we, and that's absolutely true. But when you are telling a story like this, your customer sees themselves in the story. They identify with you in the story, and they make you themselves, and they see themselves going on that journey. So suddenly your A to B transformation story becomes what is possible for them. So by sharing this journey, you're giving them hope that if she can do it, I can do it too. It is absolutely possible. You're showing them that you understand them and that you have empathy. You've been where they are. You know what struggles they are, that you have to go through to come out the other side. And you're building your authority because you've done it. You've lived and breathed it, and you've worked out how to deal with this particular problem. So it could be that your journey doesn't exactly reflect the A to B transformation that your customer is going through. And that was definitely on a high level the case for me, because an obvious A to B transformation when I was starting out for my clients is that they didn't know how to write copy and content, and now they do know how to write copy and content. And I couldn't say that was ever me, not for a long time, because when I started out in business, I had been writing for a very long time. I'd been creating content for a very long time. I understood it all. So I couldn't claim that as my A to B transformation. And it took me a long time to figure out, what is this common thread? How do I connect with my audience? How can they relate to me when I'm not in their position? I found it very confusing. And then I realized actually there absolutely was a common thread that would resonate with my audience. And that is when I realized that the tools of writing copy and content, which is what I had and which is what they had, were not enough when you're writing your own. Because I realized when I was writing my own copy and content, I was struggling to show up and be authentic. I was struggling to be visible. I was struggling to share my story. And I realized that there was so much more to it than just learning the tools. There is so much inner work that comes with it. And that journey to finding my voice was the A to B transformation that my audience was able to resonate with. So there will be something like that for you too, if you're in a similar situation with me, where that kind of A to B transformation isn't as obvious. It might be directly related to your offer. It could be that it is another story, but usually there will be something. Okay, so let's figure out, take some notes, do some journaling, do some note taking and prompts to figure out what your sticky story might be. So here are some questions that might help stimulate the idea of what this sticky story could be made up with. So the question one is, which part of my journey most closely reflects the A to B transformation that my clients will be going on with me? Which part of my journey most closely reflects the A to B transformation or A to B journey my clients will be going on with me? Question two is, which event, crisis, incident, or whatever in your past has fundamentally molded who you are right now? So remember, this doesn't have to be a dramatic event to be a critical moment or incident. For me, obviously, for some people it could be like, I lose all my money. But for me, it was something a lot more subtle, whereas it was like the frustration of suddenly realizing that I was unable to, having always wanted to communicate and reach more people, I suddenly realized that I had this block and I didn't know how to show up as me, and that's something I needed to work through. Number three is, what did your life look like and feel like before this critical moment? So what was leading up to that? Number four is, what does your life look like now? So this is the transformation. This is the inspiration. This is the hope. So for example, like having really struggled to find my voice and figure out who I am and what message I want to share. I finally know what I stand for. I show up. I own who I am. I'm, much more comfortable with being vulnerable and visible. I know who I serve. I know what my mission is, and I'm unafraid to stand out in the crowd. And then number five, what challenges do you have? What challenges did you have to overcome on this journey? So any challenges, any kind of holdbacks that are directly related to this, to your journey. Number six is, how has this whole experience affected your worldview? What do you see differently? How's it affected your values? How's it affected your beliefs? Is there anything around that? And number seven, the final one, is, what does all this make you an expert in? And it might not necessarily be the thing that you're actually officially an expert in. So once you've answered all those questions and done a little bit of journaling and writing prompts around those, you will have, hopefully, the bones of a sticky story. And you will have some clearer idea of what your sticky story might be. And now, at the end of these last three videos, you now have the bones of a founder story, a purpose story, and a sticky story. So the next step is, what's going to go into each of these stories. So the next step is, I am going to tell you how to structure all of these stories in a compelling way. So I'll see you over in the next video, in which I'm going to share a classic storytelling template which you can apply to all of these stories. See you there.